The Honourable Alfred Ngaro.
Mr Speaker, there's often a phrase that I've given in graduations or prize givings, which is that education may be the power, but attitude is the key for change. And I believe that's critically important. Mr Speaker, I want to announce that I was very proud that nearly 3 weeks ago up in Auckland, where I was able to announce as the Minister of Pacific Peoples 9 scholarships called the Te Loa Scholarships for Education, and in particularly graduates who were able to go out and in particular the STEM subjects, the science, the technology, the engineering and the mathematics. We had 9 that were awarded, $25,000 scholarships, 53 applicants. So we now for the first time again have another 9 that put through under this government to try and ensure that Pacifica are well represented in their place. It was pride of place for the families to see their young people do well. Why? Because education is critically important to them, Mr Speaker. We could also say under this government, its reputation in regards to education is critically important. Before, there were never targets if we think about early childhood education, and I'm proud to say under this government, the participation rate for early childhood education for Pacifica is at 92.5%. 92.5%. Why that becomes important? Because we know that if our young people as Pacifica don't have the opportunity to go for te whāriki in the early childhood education system, to be able to have the basic building blocks, then they often lag behind in regards to literacy and numeracy. 92.5% is critical. We can also see the results as they track through the compulsory sector of education in the NCA level results of 80% for 18-year-olds of Pacifica students. So that's critically important. I suppose what does become a concern, Mr Speaker, if we think about the whole phrase around attitude is the key, then I think the fact that with attitude it's the opportunity to choose. And the announcement by the opposition that they will do away with partnership schools if they become the government becomes a concern for our Pacifica communities and our Māori communities. Why? Because over 50% of those partnership schools, the 10 that are there, the 93% of the students, the 1,200 students that are there, are Māori and Pacific. And why is it that they've chosen partnership schools as an opportunity? Why? Because the mainstream system for a number of our kids has been failing. So, Mr Speaker, it's a concern when the opposition do not choose to support the voice and the concerns of our Māori and Pacifica community saying, give us an option. Give us a choice. That's as simple as it gets. Give us a choice. I've been at the announcement, for instance, when there was Rise Up School in Māngere. And when CETA got up, and when they got up and they turned around and said, in Māngere, all we want is the opportunity to choose. Give our children a go. Give our children a go. That's what they've asked for. The challenge of that is this. If the opposition talk about they are for Māori and Pacific communities, why don't they give them a go? It's a small percentage of the whole of the educational sector. But, you know, 1,200 kids, they can't even do that. They can't even do that. And here's the reasons why I got all a bit twisted, is when Andrew Little thought that he had his trump card. Andrew Little's Willie Jackson, right, thought he had his trump card, but here's where it got a bit sticky, because Willie Jackson himself, under their kura, is a partnership school. He is also a supporter of whānau ora. So it gets a little bit tricky, it gets a little bit hard, Mr Speaker, and that's the reasons why. It gets difficult for those communities, and I know that the other member that's here, that's not here at the House, and I can't mention him because he's not here, in the Labour Party, one of the Pacifica members over in Māngere, Mr Speaker, knows the fact is, in Māngere, the constituents of there, the Pacifica, want this partnership school, they support it. Rise Up School is a Pacifica partnership school that's making a difference for these kids. But what will they say when they hear words from Chris Hipkins? The Labour Party's position on charter schools is crystal clear. We don't support their establishment. When we're next in government, the legislation that allows for this creation will be repealed. In other words, they'll do away with it. It's a divided house. Penny Henare supports it. Kelvin Davis supports it. We know that's there as well. And Willie Jackson on the outside, what happens if he gets in? He supports it as well. Mr Speaker, the challenge for that opposition is this. We know we're doing a good job. The results speak for themselves. In fact, you can see this. Vanguard Military School, 92.7%, 94.2%, 88% from NCA level 1, 2 and 3. The proof is in the pudding. If you're making a difference, is it successful? Why would you take it away? Again, why take away the freedom for a community? We're talking about 1,200 children. 1,200 children education system, a community of Māori and Pacific and others saying, give us a choice. But you can't do that because you're mean-spirited, you're unorganised, you're disoriented, and you can't make a difference. Mr Speaker, partnership school is making a difference for our Māori and Pacific communities. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Jenny Salisa.